Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the ALPOUGH Show, the Human Spirit Experiment. Wow, that's a deep name in it, but isn't it? But I think we're going to be talking about spirit because that's what we all are. Today, I have someone very special today, Miss Amanda Darling. Not only a beautiful person on the inside, but also is a beautiful person on the outside. Today we're going to be talking about man and woman in 2022. And kind of like, hey, what happened to us? This is going to be kind of the discussion that we're going to be talking about here today. So listen, hope you're having a great, happy year already. You're already into your resolutions. I'm into mine. This is my fourth week of P90X. Hope you're out there training and growing. And what we want to do is add the wisdom given to us by Mother Sophia. Mother Sophia's wisdom. So, let's begin. Okay, you ready? Amanda Darling will be out here in just a couple seconds here. I just want to give a little opening and we'll be ready to go. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we are. Man and woman in 2022. My, have we come a long way. But the whole question is what has happened to us? Now, has something happened to us? Well, in my study and everything right now, and in my almost 65 years, I'm seeing what I call a epidemic. And this epidemic is invisible. And it's also spiritual. So the question is, how did we get here? And then how do we get out? Before we start, I just want you to know, in Mother Sophia's eyes, we are all spiritually equal. And that's between the sexes. So now, without further ado, let me introduce to you my friend, great talent, Amanda Darling. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
Hello, Michael. It's an honor to be on the show again.
Well, it's an honor to have you on the show. And your perspective, the things that we've done and experiences shows me how much you've grown so much in such your young life. And I cannot, for the life of me, talk about a woman because, I'm not one. And so it's so great to have your perspective here. So um, here's what I wanted to say here. I want to say that what I'm seeing here is a division, some type of a gap that's come between us. And whether or not it is a competition. And so let's start here. What has happened? You're single. I'm married. Of course, I didn't get married till I was 59, but there's, there's a new perspective out there that I can see. I'd like your comment on that one to start off.
Yeah, what's happened to us now that it's 2022? Just in my lifetime, I've seen a change in how the sexes relate to one another. And when I look back at some of the times of the past, I see a marked change, of course, a big change from the days of courtship, in the Renaissance times, and even earlier, the classical age of ancient Greece. And some of those changes have been good. We have a lot more freedom, obviously. We invented the birth control pill, and you don't have to be married anymore to, have a close relationship with somebody of the opposite gender. But I have noticed also some changes that I think are going back to the caveman days. What do you think? Do you know what I'm talking about?
You mean when they come and hit you over the head with a club and drag you into the cave or what?
Like, hey, we just met and we're gonna do it right now. I
Right.
don't know you, and you got a nice booty, and that's all that matters. Which to me, I think our society nowadays is putting such a large emphasis on our sexuality, which is only one part of our spirit, and it's only one part of who we are. It should be in balance with the rest of our being. So I do notice that nowadays it seems that, yeah, just people are overly sexualized. And personally, I'm a bit bored by it. I'm so much deeper than that. And I think I speak for many women when I say we want to be courted again, romanced. I mean, to me, that's more exciting. What about what happened to poetry? What happened to that? May be too cheesy for some of you out there, but what about bringing your crush a flower, or you know, I don't know, gosh, throwing a pebble at her window. Gosh, some of those things are such, you don't even hear about them anymore, but they're not hard to do. Or even just telling a woman how much you care. I feel like nowadays there's a lack of communication, and it's almost like everybody's afraid to be vulnerable. But I think without that, what do we have? That's the way that we can find true love and real love.
I back in my day, which is the '80s, my big single time in my 20s and 30s, in the '90s. We used to write poems, okay,
Really?
songs. Oh yeah,
And mixtapes, right?
tapes.
Made you a mixtape,
I
baby.
wrote a
What
song.
about that?
I wrote a song. This girl I told you about, I wanted to marry. Her name was Linda. I wrote a song called Linda.
I love
Okay,
it.
all right. So flowers and everything is cool now. So all right. So to me, we're there's something here that the payment of a lack of courtship. And so when there's not this courtship, let's just be straight up. The courtship. I courted my wife, okay? It's turned into a competition. I mean, do you feel is there a competition between men and women and what's that kind of entail?
Yeah, I mean, I think courtship entails getting to know someone as a friend prior to engaging in sexual activity and wooing the woman through, traditionally it's the man toward the woman, which I'm okay with because we can break those barriers too. But I think that when you're in your queen mentality, you're not chasing a man. You're standing in your power, and the man will come and you will accept or refuse his courtship. And I think that um, it's good that nowadays you can, as a woman, say, "Hey, I'm interested." That's good, but I think we can take from the past the best of what used to be and bring it back, because I do think that men should court the women they're interested in, treat them with respect. You know, you do those sweet things that show them this is what it's going to be like if we're married. It's going to be fun. It's going to be romantic. It's going to be exciting and loving. And I want to know that before I jump in the sack with somebody. Personally, again, I know I'm speaking for a lot of women out there. What we really want, and men too, is we really want underneath of the sexual urge is we want connection.
Okay, so let me play the other side here on a second here for you. Um, I'm just reiterating here a little bit about the competition. Um, do you feel that if a woman feels that this is the man she wants, is it okay that she courts him because he doesn't know how to court? I mean, it's like you have to let him know, but you need to do this. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So, and I think that this competition is, I think that women have begun to, it may not be the same, Amanda, but I think that it's something that should be noted that women are now, and we may not call it courting. I do. I mean, my wife, she courted me a little bit because she wanted to let me, like, hey, I'm interested in you. You know this? Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just want to be your friend.
Right.
I'm like, well, look, I just want to be your friend. Let's be friends. And we really did that. I mean, so, it just seems that it has become where women are now. Have you noticed that? I'm just saying, have
Yes.
you noticed that also?
I feel like men have become rather lazy. I'm calling you guys out.
And so
They
that's why the woman has to do that?
I
Amanda,
feel
that's
like
what
now they just expect, especially if they're good looking. It's like, ladies, prove yourselves. It's like, jump through these hoops. I want to see who can jump the highest, and I'm going to pick. And it's almost reversed in a strange way. I mean, again, I'm all for women being independent, but this competition thing you speak of, I do see it a lot. I see it's almost like instead of love, which wants to give and to have everyone experience joy, there's almost like a selfishness. Like, I'm going to take the hottest person I can find. I'm going to conquest on a physical level what I can get. And if I'm the bigger jerk I can be, the more I can high five my buddies, the more that I can, add it to my another notch
To the belt.
of what I've done. And I'm like, going back to more of the ancient times, this kind of behavior was frowned upon. It was considered much more respectable to look for love. And I'm not saying you can't date along the way and have fun, especially when you're young, but at some point we should look at how it reflects on us. I mean, if I'm mistreating a bunch of guys and I just lining them up, I mean, I could think, again, speaking for all women, it's not hard for us, right, ladies? I mean, we can go on Tinder and I can have dates with like 5 guys every day if I really wanted. I mean, it's boring to me because it's so easy. And it's really not hard either for men, to hook up with somebody now. Finding love and connection, that is more rare. And it's so much more interesting to me than being a conqueror.
Yes, and so between the two, all right, like I said, there there is an epidemic, and so there. Hold on a second, man. I'm feeling like we're getting a little bit of an echo.
People are lonelier than ever because of it, sadly.
Keep talking for just a second.
Adding to the pandemic, which is already making us socially distant and isolated. I feel the way that men and women, because it's women too, because women accept it and play along with it, it's just becoming more and more shallow, and that makes me sad. I think that men and women are it's so wonderful that the divine has manifested in our reflections of the Holy Spirit being the female and of course God being the masculine. And we have embodied into these two different complementary forms in the physical. And we're meant to love each other and to support each other in finding enlightenment and reaching our highest potential as spirits and as spiritual beings, loving one another. And yes, creating children if you want to. And I think creating a family, and that's really what it's all about. It's not about who has the biggest booty and can I get the most. And I admit, when I was younger, I was a little shallow with some of this. So I learned the hard way. That's why I'm the daughter of wisdom. How do we get wisdom? Through experience. Okay, so I'm not. I have this title for a reason, but I used to conquest guys who were famous, and it made me get this high, that I felt so powerful. And looking back, some of that, I'm not really too proud of all of that. It was fun at the time, but honestly, now that I'm more wise, I just want something more, and I know that most people do.
So as we've come this far here and discussed, kind of laid it out on the table on really what's going on. So for me, okay, we're talking about this epidemic. And what is the possibility? What's the possibility now? This is wisdom through mother, okay? But what can be this end result? And that most people will be dying alone. Now, we're not talking about somebody who says, hey, they do not want to be in a relationship. They have their friends and everything. We're talking about the dying alone is to never have loved, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. To never feel real love. That's what dying alone is. Mm-hmm. And if, I watch a lot of TikTok videos because you really want to know what's going on. These ladies and everyone's putting it all on TikTok. So I'm going to use one example. This lady, a very pretty lady, I think she was in her 40s, whatever. She goes out in a day. They have a wonderful romantic dinner. She, they get ready to go home, and she says, well, I had such a wonderful time. I really don't want to sleep with you on the first night. And he says to her, she goes, he went from this totally romantic person, this one who was so into me, to, he said to me, and I quote, I wish I could just go to a brothel and deal with this. Okay. This is just too much hassle. Good night.
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
I believe
And
it.
so it was like, again, here's like, I understand the, what do you call it? The conquering, the thing we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. That's part of the competition. But again, this person was an actor and was playing the role to get a one night stand. And I think that that's part of this whole deal, but that puts it in a nutshell on really how this, as we go into the next thing here about the conquering. Okay. And is that it in a nutshell, Amanda, that somebody conquers you first before you conquered them? I mean, it's very confusing here to see with the next generation that's coming up here.
Well, let me speak some truth and be the voice of reason, which is part of why I'm here. Having sex is not really special. Okay, bugs do it, worms do it. Let's see,
Everything
rats,
walking, crawling does.
flies. I mean, does this make you a greater like, does this make you great? No, I mean, actually, those animals do it more than we do. They do it. Anyone who comes along, just, yeah, let's do it. So should we be acting that way? And I think people should ask themselves that, because having integrity, which is a word I seldom hear anymore, integrity is the discernment to go, I will not lower myself to behave like that. I'm going to be careful with my spirit, and I'm going to look for someone who loves me. And how can you know if someone loves you? It takes time. So we have to be patient. We have to have some self-control. Women are just as sexual as men. We want the same thing, but we need to be the ones who say, we can hang out in public, we can hang out with friends, but spending the night and this sort of thing, you've got to protect yourself from that until you know the person. And I would say it takes a few months minimum, so
Yeah. Or longer.
or longer. I mean, really, it takes years to really know someone. But I don't know how many of us have that much self-control. I've found in my life, what I tell men that one of my lights went out there. What I tell the men in my life is,
I guess
I'm interested. I'll say, I'm looking for a relationship. And if you want to be with me in an intimate way, then we need, I'd like to be in a relationship. So there's no harm in that. And actually, the greatest relationships I've ever had were when we waited like about 6 months before we got together in that way. So that's been my experience.
Okay, so all right, so now here in my observation here in a relationship, here is what's missing, and to even begin or to process with a person. Now, this is for both sides. Now, this is both sides, what both sides really want. All right. Number one is love. There's nothing like feeling real love. And I'm not kidding. We're not talking about gratification love. I'm talking about love. All right. This is what I want for everyone. So you don't die alone. You want to experience this. You want to experience acceptance. Okay. Acceptance. You want to be able to trust the person. These are the top three here just now. All right. Love, acceptance, and trust. But with all that comes, how do you get all that? Is through communication. Now, the way it is right now, it's through TikTok sound bites, emotional text messages, and dating apps. Okay, so that communication is everything. Our number one rule, besides love rules our house, is we over communicate and we don't under communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to be in teamwork. You want to be, we're part of a team. We're part of a team. Now, when you're in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I'm going to tell you this right now, this is all about being an adult, is compromise. Compromise. If you can't compromise, the relationship is just not going to work. You can't You have to be able to give some. It can't just be all you. All right. And how do you really kind of get there is through transparency. Transparency. Let's talk about that. Being transparent within a relationship is about sharing our thoughts and feelings honestly, without fear or of judgment or repercussion. It is not about telling our partners what we think of them. Okay, which is mean to judge them constantly. Transparency in many ways starts with a simple shift in communication,
Mhm.
openness, and honesty between everyone involved in the relationship. But the main thing is transparency. So, what did you think about that, Amanda? In terms of what is there anything in there you want to add or you wanted to talk about in there?
Yes, I think that communication is the most important thing, and trust, as you mentioned, transparency. These are the most important things for a healthy, loving relationship. And when I care about someone, I am vulnerable with them. I'll tell them, I care about you. I respect you. I want to be with you. I feel, even if I don't say love, I could say I care. I like being around you. And I think that we need to communicate those things. I do notice a lot of men have more of a hard time communicating, and there's this new thing going on in 2022. It's been going on for a while now, but it's almost like if you do communicate, you're seen as like, oh, you're weird, and then they'll kind of ghost you or they can't handle it. I mean, this is so childish. The a real man, and this is where I use man versus boy, because I feel like a real man will welcome being loved and say to their woman, tell her how they feel. But a boy will run away from his feelings. And and a boy could be any age, by the way, and a
Yes.
man could be. There's
Yes.
age is not about age; it's about how you behave. So I'm not trying to say all women are perfect and men are all screwing up, but because it's kind of like we enable a lot of women, kind of enable this behavior, which adds to it. So I think just in general, I'm so glad we're talking about this today, because we want more love in this world to heal the planet and to move forward into being more enlightened beings. And part of that is through respect to all beings, all life, do no harm. So why in the world would you harm someone who you've been intimate with? That should take your love for them, your respect for them to another level. It shouldn't be like, oh, ew, we were together. Now you're gross to me because you're talking to me. I mean, what? This is a ludicrous behavior. I hope it changes. I hope that more people will watch this video and just awaken to divine love.
Well, I think what now after listening to you and just hearing your talk and looking on it from both sides, I think the hardest thing for people, if I want to sum it up a little bit, is taking a risk, right? See, when you love someone, it is a risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I'm going to give everything I got here. All right. Am I going to get, ghosted for, being too serious and I think that a lot of people here with this risk, they live in the past. So most everyone, we talked about complex post traumatic stress disorder, which all of us have literally been going through in the last couple of years with this
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. Okay, and so your past has to be let go. I think when it's the risk involved is that the person really will not let go of their past and come and live in the present with this person that they've made this connection with, and to be able to leave things from the past. This is all about, again, becoming an adult of your thought and your
Mm-hmm.
mind,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming through with the emotion. Now, I always say women are more emotional. Men are not that complicated. Okay. Now, because men are very simple, women are more complicated. That's just not true, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, baby, I just want my meal. watch the TV after I get off work, work hard, give you the money, and keep them rolling. Okay.
But it's insulting to say all men are the same or all
Right.
women are the same. Come
Right.
on.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's
we're
what I'm
just
saying.
being,
I'm
yeah,
agreeing
we're
with
in
you
a,
because
yeah, yes.
it's
Go
not
ahead.
that. Oh yeah, no, I'm not trying to interrupt. I was just agreeing that, not all women are super complicated, and there are some men who are extremely complicated drama kings. I've definitely run into a few of them. So
Yes.
these videos that kind of lump everyone together, and then there's all these videos now on YouTube trying to, how can you trick him to falling in love with you, or how can you be a real man and get all the ladies and treat them bad. And come on, I mean, going back to what you said about being the adult of your emotions, the adult of your thoughts. I love your program. Everybody check out his 10 Gateways to Wisdom, because it's time to be an adult, okay, everyone? I feel like people today act like children with the government being your babysitter. I mean, how pathetic is that? How about let's stand up and act like the adults of our life, take control, take responsibility for what you're doing. And you will, at the end of your life, you're going to be judged, and you're going to judge yourself on what you did. So you want to go around treating the opposite sex with disrespect? Guess what? You're disrespecting yourself. And a lot of people do end up regretting that. So I'm so glad we're talking about this.
Yes. And look, we'll just go here real quick on the 10 principles of wisdom from Mother. We had another name I thought was really good too, but we'll go. I'm an adult. I am an adult. First of all, okay. We know this, that most people, especially in these times, you don't want to grow up. You just, here, none, but
you want to live in a video game, right?
Yes.
You think you're an adult, but you want to live in the metaverse or in a video game?
This is what's coming, and this is why I think it's so critical that we talk about this. Okay, so I'm an adult of my spirit. I'm an adult of my mind. I'm an adult of my thought. I'm an adult of my emotions. I'm an adult of my action. I'm an adult of my body. I'm an adult of my love. I'm an adult of my surroundings. I'm an adult of my relationship. I am an adult of my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the 10 part.
Love it.
Yeah, we're on what's the next? We just did emotion, and the next one's going to be action. So that's going to be the next installment of this. And so this is really where, I think I want to bring this up here. It's like it's masculinity versus femininity, friend or enemy. And I think that this is where the man and the woman, it is not about masculinity or femininity, because at the end of the day, we're all spirit. And, and for all of us, it's just so important to be friends, guys. Okay. Amanda, the question I really want to ask you is when people aren't honest, okay? Because honesty is a whole thing too. I mean, it's like this duality. Have you noticed that if it takes a while to see, you see one side of a person, a man, we're going to be talking about women, and then it takes a while to see that duality of what they really are, like the guy on the TikTok video, right? He was in he wanted to get some. All right. And as soon as he didn't get some, his true self came out.
Or sometimes after a man gets some, instead of treating that woman as even better and cherishing her, they want to start treating you badly after that. I mean, I don't understand that, but yeah, bring it back to what you said, men and women, are we going to act like enemies? It's so silly. We all want the same thing. We all want love. That's really what we want. Even if you're in denial about it, all of these behaviors are trying to find love. And there's no greater thing than the love between the masculine and the feminine energies coming together. It doesn't matter what actual gender you are, because of course we love everyone. You could be gay. You still have two different energies coming into play, but the energies that created this world were, of course, going back to, it was God and God's wife, the Holy Spirit, were in love, and they created everything that we have here on the earth. Really, it was Mother who was a creator, but they were there together at the beginning, rejoicing always. And this is so wonderful. And I think that part of our mission here is to remind people of that, because of course the biblical words and the story of creation has been manipulated to try to leave out the Holy Spirit. Although if you go and read it, which I recommend you all do, go to Proverbs 8, go to Genesis, you'll find the Holy Spirit was there at every single moment that God was creating. And but we've been told this lie that God is the only deity. There's only this one masculine father, and that's it. And I do think that's contributed to the mistreatment of women, and for women not feeling divine. So what we have is men looking at women as something for them, to gratify them, because they are the divine ones, they're the great ones, and women are just second place. But the truth is, we're of course 100% equal. And so when we meet on this, platitude of being completely equal, and when a man looks at a woman as a divine spirit first, that changes everything. It changes everything, and it makes a man feel better. It makes a man feel so much more masculine to protect this incredible feminine energy. And that is what we need. And vice versa too. The woman seeing the man as divine and wanting to care for him and love him. And it's not about who's gotten laid more. Come on, we're past that. It's 2022 now. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes. Okay. So this comes back to the word teamwork. Okay. So men, relax. All right. Nobody's taking away and that you're supposed to be feminine. You're supposed to be a man. All right. So when I look at my wife as equal, but I'm the one, when there's a bump in the house at night, I'm going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If
Hector.
it's who is the best person for the job to be done.
Right.
Okay. And so that does not take away from your role, that you have to think of yourself as secondary. What you want to think of yourself as, I'm going to take care of. We both are going to do. We have the both, and whatever the job is to be done, that's the job. Maybe the time that the woman works and the man goes to school. Maybe it's the time the woman, she has the babies, or she's at home taking care of the house. It's each individual. When you come together, it's about being a team, and compromise is all part of it. Okay. All right. Let's give you an example. What's it always been? The men take out the trash. Oh, the woman cooks the clean in the kitchen. Okay. We know those things have changed. Sometimes a woman, my wife can take out the trash, but guess what? I do the cooking. Okay.
Yeah, those things don't matter as much, but because I see what you're saying, like
Right.
we can, as long as you're both contributing, then that's what's important. So yeah, I think that we don't need to hyper focus anymore on the gender roles being so frigid, but we do need the teamwork, and I do think at the end of the day, men are physically born with a different skeleton and a different muscular structure. So guys, I see so many guys nowadays who are so lazy. I mean, come on, like please keep yourselves fit, be ready to protect women, and act like a man. I mean, there are certain things that I think need to stay like that. A man should be able to protect his family, but women too. You should be also fit, and you should also be able to protect in his absence. But other things, like I do think women, both genders should know this, but women, yeah, you should know how to cook. I mean, some of this stuff it's not essential, but it does help, because we tend to kind of naturally have those qualities, and we should, nurture those, and not just be like, again, like a child, like, oh, I don't do anything except for have sex. It's like, I don't know.
Right. Well, my beautiful bride Tracy, she's in the military for 20 years. So she definitely
Yeah,
knows how to fire a gun. Okay. So I mean, this all changed for me, knowing that my wife was in the military, which I think I was in the military 20 minutes when I went into a recruit station with my long hair, and they said, "Get out of here." I think I was in it. That's from walking into the car to walking all the way back. Okay. So I have so much respect for my wife for being in the military and doing 3 military tours. So you see how our roles over the last 50, 60 years has changed.
They have
And
changed. Yeah.
yes.
And
And
that's
so
okay. That's
and
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Because it is the teamwork thing that we have. Okay. So I want to really thank you. I just want to see what some of your final comments was. Anything you want to add here. I just want to say how wonderful it is to have you here, and giving some insight on this. I really think we're just scratching the surface, don't you think?
Yeah, we could go in. I could be a lot more aggressive too, because I really don't like a lot of what I'm seeing. Again, just especially in pop culture, I'm seeing this glorification of songs like, WAP going to number one, um, Wet Ass, fill in the blank, 7 days a week, and people are so into it. And I mean, I am a music critic, of course, because I am a DJ, but I just think this is bringing us
And a
down.
damn good DJ. Damn good DJ. That show you did last night was some.
Thank you. Everyone,
Yeah.
give trance a try. It's a spiritual form of music that uses the beautiful feminine voice, and it's more about spiritual connection and love. But yeah, I just think a lot of the music nowadays, of course, a lot of the rap of music degrades women. And I say to you, ladies, when they're playing those songs that put you down, you have the power. For me, I would go straight up to the DJ and go, I am not dancing till you take this off. Imagine if all the women left the dance floor every time a degrading song toward women came on. Ladies, why are you out there? Yeah, oh, you're my bitch, this and that. Come on, like I do not condone this. It's totally unhealthy. Again, it's like going back to acting like an animal, and we're so much greater than that. I mean, we've been given these minds that have the capacity to do so much as human beings, and there's such a deeper way to love one another and to think of one another as divine beings in a physical form. So I want to remind everyone, you have a spirit, and you have a heart, and you have a mind. All of these incredible tools and parts of who you are that are beyond just what your body is. And eventually, we all grow older and the body fades away. But who you are as a spirit, and what you've said and what you have done and what you have thought, this lasts forever. And that is who you truly are. So I want to leave you on that note. Like, let's go deeper. I think we're just so shallow these days. And I want to encourage everybody out there to be deep, even if it makes you vulnerable. Own it. There's people I've told, I like you, I have a crush on you, or I want to be with you. And granted, it hasn't had that happen that much, because I'm really blessed and lucky that usually, what I've felt has been reciprocated. But there have been times where it was not, and I still stand by what I said, because it was loving, and I'm a loving person, and I think we should all try to be loving. And that's my legacy, and I think that I want to leave on that note.
Well, I always want to say that I think that since I'm a man, without a doubt, when I've found Sophia, or when she found me, I felt the balance of my spirit from, the Holy Spirit and God, the Mother and the Father. Okay. And it just totally balanced me of knowing you're my mother. I already knew about it. I knew Mother Earth. Remember, we got Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Sophia's always been known as the goddess of wisdom, which, again, we can say that, but it's just that she was and is the Holy Spirit, and how that what what incredible balance came to me. It wasn't that I became more feminine. I became a complete spirit. Now to remember this, sex doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to your spirit, because all of us have been given one. It's a gift that Mother's given you. Use it well. Use it well. The touching of her, I can feel her. And I see her in you, Amanda, you know? And you can see it in yourself if you just take a moment to understand. Now, we're in a time right now where the lies are becoming the truth.
Mhm.
Once this thing jumps over this cliff where the lies become the truth and the truth is a lie, all humanity is going to go into this world that we may not be able to get out of. And that's why this lady, Amanda Darling, daughter of wisdom, and myself, we're taking a risk. Okay. And what's here is we're taking the risk to let you know that you are loved. A love that you have never felt. And it's not religion. It's a good old-fashioned spirit. Mother. Where do we all come from? A mother. What's been
Absolutely.
missing?
Just think about, let me tell you about this family, okay? There's a father, there's a son, and there's somebody else in the family, okay? So who do you think that might be? Right? I mean, it's been so obvious this whole time, but in the Trinity, we have the Father, the Son, and the Mother, okay? And this has been, they tried to cover this up for so long, and it's when I realized it through my own spirituality meditations and through actually studying the Bible and the Apocrypha, and I know it to be true, and it's so amazing. It's one of those things that's like it's been there all along, but you never saw it, and then once you see it, it's just, you can't imagine that you could ever have missed it. But this is the greater message of my music and my work, is that, you know, this is the truth, and this is what's going to help, I believe, to unify all humans, because we're so out of balance in this world. The masculine energy has taken over to such a large extent that we've killed nature, to the point where the soil isn't even fertile anymore. And you know, progress and building cities and all of this is good, but it needs to be in balance, and it's completely out of balance, which is a reflection of how out of balance we are as male and female energies. And I know we're trying to wrap this up, but there's so much more
I got time here. I'm just,
yeah, I mean,
you know, it's like it's just letting it flow. I'm just so,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, just think about, we hear so much about Black Lives Matter and about struggles of Black people in this world, and I have so much compassion for that. And I just want to remind people that, you know, women got to vote after Black people. Women have always been last. I mean, but women don't talk about it as much. I think that we endure a lot, and we've been programmed from a young age, because we're told that God is a man, that we have to accept that. I mean, here's one way I try to explain it to people. I think it's really effective. So let's put it in reverse. All right. So imagine, Michael, that you were born on planet Earth, and I said, welcome to Earth. So guess what? So God's female, all right, and the Holy Spirit's female, Jesus is female. Everyone who wrote this book, it's the Bible, everyone who wrote it is female, okay? And if you don't believe in this, you are going to hell. And I mean, how would you, as a man, how would you even feel that you are even a part of this world, being told that? It's been a strange thing since I was a child. I always thought it seemed wrong, but you're not allowed to question it. And so it's almost like feeling trapped. And now we're opening that gate and letting people, it's going to heal us all, because I wouldn't want to live in a world like that if it was in reverse either. That's just messed up. I wouldn't I see men as divine. So how would I deny their divinity like that? That hurts me. I would never do that. And so this needs to be healed now.
I need to correct you, Amanda. In the 20s, women got the right to vote, but that was Caucasian women. And actually, the Negro race did not. It came later. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Sure, because
yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we both got
Remember
the right
what's
to
on
vote.
my birth certificate.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Maybe I was wrong on that, but women, I have to look that up, but definitely we all were both very mistreated for a very long time. And I'm just using it as a way as an analogy to reflect that that's not right, you know, and we need to grow past that. I have my light keeps going up, but
it's okay. We can still see it. Your light, your spirit is shining bright.
So yeah, we should have all gotten the right to vote at the same time, is what I'm saying, and it's just
I
messed
agree.
up that we had to fight, you know, so hard just to be like, I'm a person.
Well, I want to give. I have to give Amanda some credit here. I literally put my Bible away 25 years ago. I've never opened it. Now I've read the Bible 3 times, and I used to teach in a Bible study, and I could have gone down the path. I was a worship leader and all this. And when Mother found me, I was just listening to her. But I want to give Amanda some really fabulous credit here, and this is why, again, I really want us to talk about. You know, first of all, this is not a religious show. This is a spiritual show. But in the history books, which is what I consider the Bible a history book, there are so many different scriptures that I studied it, and it just seemed like those scriptures about that Sophia is the Holy Spirit, just somehow you didn't click on. But when you showed me some of these, you know, a lot of the scriptures, and then I want to have Zen Garcia on here. All 3 of us can be on here. That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? That'd be a lot of fun.
It really would. And I want to talk about that, but I wanted to just say, because I just looked it up, actually Black people got the right to vote in 1870 and women got the right to vote in 1920. So yeah, we actually did get the right to vote.
I stand corrected. I want that didn't mean they were able to actually vote, but
right. They were like
yes. Yeah, there's 2 kind of sides to that, but yes, I stand by the history book, what you said.
Yeah, so, I just want to. It's not really a contest about like.
No.
Who
Listen, it's not. We're not about who has to be right. We're about getting it right.
Right. We just want to verify all the facts on this show.
Right. That's
you know
it.
What I mean? So,
yes.
But yeah,
Thank you.
Because we are talking about these deeper subjects like the Bible, and so if we're questioning that, I want everyone to know we are definitely backing that up with researching it and presenting everything in the correct way. But yeah, it's just crazy when you read a part of the Bible like Proverbs 8, and it clearly says, I am the spirit of wisdom. I was there at the beginning with God, and we created the world together, rejoicing always. And it's my favorite part of the Bible, but no one talks about it. Or the book of Revelation, when it says there will be a woman who will be crowned with a crown of 12 stars, and she will be lit by the sun and walk on the moon. And it's like, no one ever told me about that part. It's just like every time that Jesus performed a miracle, he did it. He called upon the Holy Spirit. Look it up.
It's true.
So in a way, the Holy Spirit's like the main character of the Bible, or, you know, basically God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus are the 3 main characters. But it's like they put the Holy Spirit off to the side and said, well, the Holy Spirit, we don't say what gender the Holy Spirit is, who it is, what their name is. Why is it? That's so strange. I mean, like, imagine having a main character of a movie who you never know what their gender is, you never know what their name is, but they're constantly referred to. That is just so bizarre. And that tells me something's awry. You know, there's a reason that it's been covered up. And it's misunderstood because, of course, the word Sophia is Greek. Even in ancient Greek and modern Greek, the word Sophia means wisdom. So when they say I'm the spirit of wisdom, this is a mistranslation. It's to say, well, my name is Sophia. I am the Holy Spirit. That's what it should say. And you see how they manipulated it it's kind of like my name is Amanda, which means love. It'd be like if we wrote a book about my life, but every time you mentioned me, it wasn't like Amanda did this. It'd be like, oh, the spirit of love was around in the air, and then this happened. It's like that's denying the truth of who I am. And so we want to bring out and tell people, question everything, including the Bible. Read it. Did you read it, or did you just go to church and have someone tell you what they thought? Because these books have been manipulated for thousands of years to control us, and we should question who translated it, why, what was their agenda, when was it translated. Because for instance, when the King James Bible was translated from Greek into the Old Testament was in Greek, and then anyway, when they translated the Bible from Italian Latin into English during the medieval times, the person who commissioned it was King James, who was huge proponent of witch trials, and he was personally involved in burning a lot of women at the stake. So you're going to trust that person to be accurate about the depiction of the Holy Spirit in the Bible? I mean, I don't think people think about it that deep, on a deep level like that.
Well, I would love to go into the history of King James, okay, including all the gematria. That's a whole nother subject about about the 1500s. By the way, everything changed in the 1500s, and that's when he was king. What's the calendar that you have right now? It's the Gregorian calendar. You know where that came from? Pope Gregory, who was there during that time of all the rewriting of everything. So that's a whole nother subject of how things changed, and I do believe that's when everything was really changed, and her name was taken out of context. But now we're talking about her, and now is your opportunity. Okay, this is never about give your soul. No, Mother gave you yours, so why would she want to give back? So when you give someone a gift, you don't ask for it back. But now everyone has what? Free will. Free will. That is Mother's number one, is honoring your free will, your decisions, your decision to be an adult. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The more you become what we're talking about here, the more you can hear her. So,
and there's three. My final statement is I could talk to you all day long, but
we're not done yet, girl. So we got another show coming.
There are three things that cannot remain hidden for very long: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Yo, you got to make a song on that. Tell us about your. You got an album coming out. I know. I just want to give everyone a plug about who you are. In the life when you walk out that door, and you live in Los Angeles, right?
I do live in Los Angeles, but I'm a world traveler, and I've lived in South America, Crete. I've been to 16 countries, and I will continue to travel this year. But I do have a music video coming out this weekend for my song Mystery with Aressa, and I have a bunch of other songs coming out in the next 6 months, and a new album. Look out for that one. It's called Passages of Time. So thank you so much for having me on the show, Michael. I feel like this is just a step forward toward trying to heal masculine and feminine, and even our friendship. It's just been so wonderful to be friends with somebody who sees me as a spiritual person and who is so respectful. And I think that, you're an example for a lot of men out there. So definitely everybody subscribe and keep watching my amazing friend, Michael. He's really got it going on with the wisdom on this channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Listen, we so appreciate you being on the show. Also, let me give a plug. She's starting her Sunrise Club, which she's going to be doing here down the road too. And hopefully we can get you back on here and show one of your videos. That'd be real cool.
Thank you.
So you can see the other side, because this lady is very entertainment. When you see her, you can't keep your eyes off her, and you can't stop dancing. So thank you, Amanda. I just want to send so much love to you, and I will talk to you again really soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
wasn't that just great? Oh my gosh, I just love just talking about Sophia. Yeah. One of the things that's so cool is when the awakening of woman, okay? The awakening of man. This is the new awakening, ladies and gentlemen. Mother Sophia, her eyes of wisdom is upon you. Listen to me. If you hear one thing, just know this. I love you. I would not be here every day checking out everything so that I can give you her. This isn't about me. I'm already the most blessed man who ever, as far as I'm concerned, has ever born. Because I am so grateful that she met me. And now I'm sharing her inspirational words to you. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to get Amanda back. And I'm going to have some other people on, but give some comments here. Please like and subscribe. Just all you got to do is click down on this button right here. Okay. And I have some other videos to watch. So until next time, I'll see you soon.